Hello there, and welcome back to Midlife Crisis. I'm Cheryl. We had a special request today, so I just came in, and before getting situated, I wanted to just get this out. I am encouraging you guys, if you want to have something discussed, a topic that you want to have discussed, please feel free to write in and let's talk about it. We had a special request to discuss manipulative and abusive adult children, so don't go away. The person basically inquired on what is recommended when you do identify who the players are. One of the episodes I was talking about manipulative and abusive adult children, I was pointing out that it's important to understand that a lot of times there is a troublemaker in the background, just like egging things on. And I think as long as you're able to identify with who that mischievous person is, you can pretty much, maneuver or circumvent the situation. It becomes a little more difficult when the troublemaker is the other parent. And these things usually will occur just to have favoritism. But what makes it difficult is when you do not know who the players are. Once you understand, and it can be anyone, as we said, it can be a sibling, it could be the other parent, it could be an aunt, it can be anyone. I think when it is the other parent, it becomes a little more difficult, but you can work with it because you know who it is and you know exactly why it could be taking place. So just make sure that you communicate to both the adult child and the other parent and then make your move. It's unfortunate when one parent decides that he or she's going to interfere with the work that you're supposed to do as a couple to make sure that you keep this adult child in line. But sometimes you get carried away and we tend to not see the end result of our movements when we're so into getting back at one another. We will not look at who it's really hurting when we don't team up as parents to make sure that we show our children the ropes. And it happens for different reasons, but once you've identified that it is the other parent, then you need to communicate to that parent, letting him know, he or she should know what the outcome will be. But sometimes when we are intending to hurt the other parent, we tend to not see the big picture in terms of who it's really going to hurt. You can't be friends with your children. You can be down to earth and stuff like that, but you really need to understand that you have to discipline your children. And if you're looking to not gear them in the right direction because you want to be the favorite parent, then you are hurting that person, you are hurting that adult child in the long run. Even though they are now adults, we still have that influence on them. And it is the right thing to do to steer, to gear them in the right direction and to not have any animosity, vindictiveness, or anything towards the other parent, especially when it has to do with any form of discipline. So what was being asked is if we can just give some tips on it. And that is my tip. Once you understand who the players are, I think it's worse when you don't know who's being the troublemaker in the back end. But once you understand who it is, then you need to start communicating to that individual, letting them know that in the long run, they're hurting that person. They're hurting the one that they're trying to manipulate for their own personal gain. But you don't ever stop talking, and remember, you cannot be friends with your children. I'm not saying that you can't have a relationship where you're laughing and joking around and stuff like that, but working so hard to be on the better side where you're not letting them know where they're going wrong. That is a very bad thing to do, because you will have no one else to blame when things start to go awry. You have to speak up. You have to communicate when you see your child or your children, your adult children, going the wrong way. You have to say something. And if you're choosing not to because you want to be the favorite, that's a very wrong route to take. It is very painful what's happening to some parents, but I'm here to tell you that it does work itself out. It really does. We've already done the sacrificial lamb thing. We've already gone the extra mile. And some of us are learning that we went the extra mile and it did more damage than anything. But it was what was in your heart at the time to be the best parent you can be. So do not blame yourself for anything that is taking place, because you've taught them wrong from right. They just choose to prove that they don't need any direction now. They just want to prove to you that they can be themselves. And that's okay. But once the disrespect starts to take place, you've got to pull back, because it has no better to get. And you have to let your child or your children know that either way, you are going to be okay. Either way. It's best if they're in your life. But if it's going to be a parasitic situation, then you need to pull back. I mean, we're even hearing things where the grandkids are being used to manipulate the situation. Now, how sad is that? To take an innocent child to use for your own personal gain on disrespecting and controlling your parents. I mean, this thing is so out of hand, it is not even funny. But once you understand what's taking place, you just got to do what you have to do to keep your peace and have your balance, and at whatever cost. Because eventually, when you stand your grounds, things will work itself out. And I'm telling you what I know. If it is the other parent that is being mischievous in the background, try to communicate with him or her, letting them know that nothing good will come out of what they're doing, and then just pull back. But don't go into the tit for tat thing and the competition, and there is no competition. You are named mother. You carried that child for 9 months, and you deserve to have that level of respect. Okay? All right, so that's what I have for you for today. I'm gonna kind of get myself organized and settled in, but I just wanted to get that out for the individual that requested it. I hope this helps. Don't forget to give us a like and subscribe to the channel if you have not done that already. It will give you a notification when we do put things out. It's supposed to be every week, but we have been running behind. But join the tribe, and we will see you next time. You take care now. Bye.